So I got my header essentially mocked up. I think I might have to end up cutting this flange and tilting the turbo forward just like so, just a scotch, because I'm having some interference right here when I try and put the clamp on for the exhaust. So it'll kind of be tilted forward just a little bit. I'll probably end up cutting this tab off, and the radiator will sit right up here. So the other two pipes, as I said, one's going to kind of come on top. Oop. The other one's going to kind of come on top also. So I'm going to cut these pieces tonight that I got to weld in. Then I think this is going to be my final placement as far as the angle inside. I'm going to go around to the other side. So the blow-off valve, so the up pipe will be right here. You know, we'll have the up pipe something like this. Maybe tilted in a little bit, rough. Of course, this will be fitted in here differently, but the pipe will essentially kind of go like that into the intake manifold. So I'm gonna hold this all. The blow-off valve will kind of be positioned right about here. So when I do make the turbo, the pipe that goes into the inlet of the turbo, that will actually be piped up this way, like here. When the blow-off valve is where my finger is, it will be piped back into the inlet of the turbo. You can kind of picture it like this. The other thing I did was I decided, you know, until you get some of this stuff fabricated, it's hard to decide where you're even going to put things. So I essentially think I'm going to put the wastegate like that, upside down, and or maybe even something like this. More hands right now. So essentially, if you can kind of picture the wastegate being something like this. So we'll have a nice quick route into the wastegate and a nice quick route out of the wastegate. This thing is huge, but I think it'll fit real nice. It'll get plenty of air like that. The diaphragm will be away from all the heat, so I won't have any heat issues. Man, this thing, I think once the header's done, this thing's gonna fly together. I'm super excited. This Schedule 10 shit is super easy to weld compared to stuff I've been welding. Yeah, I think I'll have to end up clipping this, and this will fit right over there. And I'll probably make just a little bracket right here that holds it in. Maybe a little something on the V-band that hooks into the radiator. That'd be kind of cool. Crack-a-lackin'. So now I'm just welding these plates in, and I gotta weld them from the inside because I wouldn't be able to weld them this way. So I tacked them in. I'll give you like a side view what it looks like. I tacked them in. I'm gonna rip this off. I want to straighten this plate off because it kind of bowed a little bit when I was tacking it. And then I'm going to weld these from the inside. Then afterwards I'm going to weld this plate on and then weld it here and here. So I'll give you the opposite side view. So essentially this is the bottom. So once I have this plate welded, I'll have to just fill these corners, but I'll get a little triangle and put it in there. That's not important. That'll be one of like the last things. But the only thing I have to do is then walk along this line, which I should be able to do. Yeah, I might have to put on my other cup I still got to weld in between here, but I want to get the box made before I weld these because this is kind of gonna bow a little bit. So right now I'm gonna just break that off. Okay, so I got those end tanks welded from the, those end pieces welded from the inside. Then this is where the bottom of the intake went. I figured I was trying to bend this, but because these throttle or velocity stacks are so close, I ended up just welding them together, and that really flattened the piece out. And I think when I do my final welds on the bottom, it'll keep it from warping. So now I just have to grind these welds, these tacks off, and then do my final fitment. But it'll fit on basically like that. As you can see, it fits tighter once I grind those tacks off, because the tacks are kind of holding them up. But as you can see, got a nice straight line. And maybe I can show you these on the bike real quick, so you can kind of see down each one of the ports. Fits on there really clutch. There's barely any air gaps. So yeah, so now this fits. I just want to make sure everything fit. It's always a pain in the butt. Oh, I made it. Does it fit? You know. So now now this is nice and rigid in here. I'm going to do a permanent weld. Get that bottom corner permanently welded. Then as you can see, I can really start boxing in this. These ended up being really even by welding these. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually go through and clean these up. You know, I think aesthetically it'd look really cool, but this is going to be all enclosed under high amounts of pressure. I don't think this little weld's going to affect it. So, but you guys know that it's there now. I don't know what I'm going to do. As I was saying yesterday, there's plenty of room to do my intake parts. What I'm going to end up doing is, once I box this in, I'm going to make my brackets that hold this down, so I know exactly where this is going to be. It'll be nice and fixtured in, and then I'll be able to, well, I really got to get the header done, and then I'll be able to do that up pipe, but I got plenty of time. This is looking so badass. I'm sorry, I know I've probably been showing too many pictures of it, but I'm really liking how it's turning out.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way